This is the Retro Inc. podcast. Welcome back.
Bop It To Start.
Welcome back to Retro Inc. with myself, Adam, and my two co-hosts, Andy and Jeremy. How are you, fellas?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. How's your week been?
It's been all right, I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been all right.
Good. Have you been watching anything after work?
I've got weirdly addicted to a snake program. Snakes in the city about these two people in Durban who catch black mambas usually in people's houses. And
Is this a lady and a gentleman that do this program?
yeah,
I think I've seen that actually. Yeah.
That's been my binge of the week.
Anything sci-fi, fantasy, culty at all? There was a film you did tell me about the other night. You said was quite strange.
Bad Milo.
Yes.
Bad Milo. That is I watched Odd Thomas again.
Yes. Yeah.
And I've watched some of Bad Milo. It is very strange but very funny, and I'm enjoying it.
Wonderful. Well, we'll get on to Odd Thomas in a second. Andy, how are you, mate?
Hello, mate.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. You're all right. I'm trying to hold it together here for a second. Yeah.
Good. You've had a busy week as well, but have you managed to do a little bit of gaming? Have you watched anything this week of interest?
I've done quite a bit this week with personal time.
Yes.
But yeah, I've watched in its entirety. Well, I say the first 3 seasons of it in entirety. What's on Netflix of Plebs.
Oh.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's my new favourite thing at the moment.
That's the Romans, isn't it?
Have you seen it, Jeremy?
I couldn't get into it. I tried it.
It is a certain sense of humour. It gets better by season 3. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's a comedy set in Roman times, but it's very factually loose. What it does, they work in an office and he copies stuff, and his mate who he lives with shreds stuff, and she calls him copier and shredder. And there's a guy in the corner called Waterman that's actually the water cooler. He just stands there with a jug all day. So it's that sort of humour. There's a load of cameos in it. Danny Dyer's in it at one point as a centurion. There is star after star of British comedy through that series. You don't notice it until you don't know they're in it until you're watching it, and they're not a big thing. They'll be in it for one episode or half an episode, and I've seen people, all the cast from Game On have been in it. Matthew and Martin. You've had people that you'd know from so many British sitcoms and comedies. I know that Robert Lindsay's in the next season as a character, and it's just real stupid good fun. It's one of those, I started watching it and I was like, I don't know why this is funny, but the more you invest into it, I've just been hooked. I say I've watched it this week. I started watching it today's Sunday, isn't it? I started watching it Thursday night, and I've watched 3 seasons of it. So it's easy watching. It's just really good, stupid fun. It is stupid. There's nothing serious or intelligent about it. But one of the main 3 of them that live in the house is a guy called Grumio, and he's his slave, and he's what makes that series for me. If you watch it, you'll understand why, because the guy is one of those, he just manages to make this character his own, and his facial expressions and just the way he delivers lines. There's a lot of repetition of comedy in it as well, which I do like when things are referenced from before. And it's one of those where you keep the joke going, it gets a little bit annoying, and then it starts to become even more funny. So yeah, watch Plebs. If you get a chance, it's so easy to watch. Just chuck it on in the background while you're doing something. So I did that. I started trying to watch Venom through means, and that went wrong, so I gave up. I've been playing. I got my Wii. Am I allowed to say that on here? Family show.
Yes,
So I got okay. I got my Wii out, and it has on it like 3 SNES games. So I've just been sitting there playing that. It's homebrew, Adam. I know it's not exactly legal. I saw the face you pulled, but it's called Preservation.
That's what it's called. Yeah.
It's Preservation. Yeah. I can't.
Okay.
I'm not. They're not losing money because I'm not going to go out and buy myself Mario Kart to play it for 20 minutes and go, that was fun. But what I am doing is I am playing it and I am preserving that. And as somebody that owns a Nintendo console, I don't feel too bad. And I'm playing it on a Wii anyway. So, but yeah, so these SNES games, I've been playing a lot of them. Empire Strikes Back, a bit of Super Star Wars as well. I did some Street Fighter earlier, Street Fighter 2, and got my arse handed to me on a plate. Because I found my GameCube controller for it as well, so that's been nice. So I'll have that out when you two come up. So it's all set up now at the TV, and we can have a bit of a retro gaming afternoon. I did notice though one of the files is called Sonic the Hedgehog. So I don't actually know whether it's Sonic the Hedgehog or some sort of cheap knockoff, but I'll give that a go soon. There's a lot of retro gaming, mate, as well.
Excellent. Going back to the wonderful Odd Thomas, as we featured on last week's Retro Inc. podcast. I mean, this film is highly recommended by all three of us, isn't it? And if you haven't seen Odd Thomas, it's a story of a small-town fry cook, Odd Thomas, played by Anton Yelchin, who is an ordinary guy with a paranormal secret, and he sees dead people everywhere. And when a creepy stranger shows up with an entourage of ghostly bodaks, as they're known, predators who feed on pain and portend mass destruction, Odd Thomas knows that his town is in serious trouble, and he teams up with his sweetheart called Stormy, played by Addison Timlin, and the local sheriff starring Willem Dafoe. Odd plunges into an epic battle of good versus evil, trying to stop the disaster of an apocalyptic proportions happening in his town. And this is based on a best-selling thriller by Dean Coote. And May, I'm so pleased that you talked about it last week, because I went and immediately added it to my watch list. Mm-hmm. I watched it on the following day, and I absolutely loved it. And I cried at the end of this film. It really got to me. It really got to me. Yeah, it did. And it really, really got to me. And I honestly did not see some stuff coming in it.
I actually get that, mate. I understand it, because I'm not going to go into it too, Dev, because you can. I don't think
I wanted something to happen which did, and I just was shocked, and I absolutely adored this film. And I think it also left it open very nicely if they wanted to make another one. They left it open very, very, very nicely, and of course they can't. Yes. So loved that. Absolutely loved that. This week, well, I mean, I've ordered another Funko Pop, which was another Prince one. So I've got all three of those Prince ones now. So there's the Around the World in a Day Funko Pop. I picked up a couple of Blu-ray steelbooks. Suicide Squad, Captain America Civil War, and Dark Knight Rises with a very different case. Got those mega cheap and was really chuffed with getting those. And on the mega sale on iTunes, I picked up a couple of digital downloads. Guy Ritchie's Snatch, Upgrade, and AVP. Can't wait to watch Snatch again.
Interject, because I think that deal you're talking about is actually the same. I think it must be a publisher thing or a studio thing, because a lot of those movies are on Amazon Prime at the moment to buy in a sale that they've got on.
Well, there we go.
Because I know the Upgrade is in there, because I saw it and I thought I always had to watch, and it was to buy, but it was like £2.
Snatch is made by Columbia Pictures, so I know they've got Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah, that's in there as well. Yeah,
so I know that's in there. So maybe it was. So yeah, Odd Thomas was fantastic. I picked up a couple of paperbacks too this week. I picked up Han Solo's Revenge and Han Solo at Star's End. These are both novels by Brian Daley. These are classic vintage paperbacks. I picked these up for 50p each in a charity shop, and these are real classic paperbacks. I got myself a collector's pro album book to put my Star Wars top trading cards in, and I usually have Pokemon cards in them, but I picked one of those up to put my little
Pokemon
tops in. But yeah, I've watched Shaun, Hot Fuzz, and World's End, and I must say that I think my order is pretty much in the same as yours, Andy. I think Shaun, World's End, then Hot Fuzz in my faves.
Yeah, good man.
I really like World's End a lot. I really, really liked it, and
It's grown on me, that film. I didn't at first. It was very much in the order of release, but
there was a couple of flaws for me in Hot Fuzz that I just thought,
What were they?
Hard to sort of pick up the top of my head a little bit, really, but there was a few bits that kind of irritated me. I think
my thing with it is it's just a genre thing. I prefer sci-fi and zombies and horror. So straight off the bat, there's the alien invasion and there's the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, and there's
Hot
a cult.
Fuzz is there's obviously a cult thing, but it's more of a detective thriller, isn't it? But that's not as much my bag. It's still a great film.
I think that's probably what it is, to be honest. I think it took the mickey out of a lot of kind of 70s, 80s cop shows, and that's what it did. But I personally like science fiction, so World's End really, I don't know, maybe it pips it slightly more than Shaun in some ways. Who knows? I'm not a greatest horror fan, so perhaps. No, I'll give Shaun the 10, and I'll give Hot Fuzz. I'll give World's End a very close second. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed watching them, and I watched them back to back too. I literally went from one to the next one, and it was all good, mate.
I went to Wales just to see where they filmed all of Hot Fuzz. It's a lovely little city. Go there.
We just went to Wales, mate. It's all beautiful. It's all beautiful there.
I've just realised it just popped up on my phone that I've just won something on eBay that I was just mentioned before the show that I was after. So good news there. Talking of news, should we get into some news?
I like the way you use the word win, so it kind of justifies the expenditure a bit more. Yeah. I didn't succeed in my bid. I won it. I won it, everyone. Look at that.
I had to pay. Yeah. Should we get into some news?
Are you going to tell everyone about that now? I thought you wasn't going to tell everyone until you got the all clear from the doctor.
Let's get into
sorry,
the
mate.
News. Oh, yeah, not that news, man. Let's get into the news about the CW developing a television series adaptation of 1987's Lost Boys. Now, this was first reported back in 2016, and although they'd initially passed an ordering of a pilot at that time, Deadline reports, which is a publishing in the States, that the network has now finally ordered up that very pilot. And the details have come in that the CW originally developed the series adaptation of the iconic 1987 Warner Brothers horror comedy movie, The Lost Boys, with Rob Thomas writing during the 2016-2017 development season. Now, let's look at this, right? Can you see Kiefer Sutherland, sort of getting back into the role? Can you see any of the original cast perhaps being in this? And do you think this will just be like a new series about some lost boys, vampires, young vampires in modern day? How do you think this is going to work, if it ever works? Andy,
you want me to go? Because I think you all saw my response to this on Facebook. And right, for a start, I'm going to start with the Will Anyone Return? Obviously, people are dead. So I think it's not out of the realms of possibility with someone like Kiefer Sutherland coming back as a cameo role as something else in this series. Because I know that he enjoyed that.
Some sort of demon, do you think?
Not even a demon, but just even a copper. He could just be a police officer in it, or the mayor, and he turns up in 2 episodes or something, just as a nice nod.
That would be good.
Not as his original character. Alex Winter, I don't think he'll be back because he's going off and doing Bill and Ted, and clearly it takes him 30 years to do anything, so he's not going to do two things at once unless he's a bus. But I think that aside, doesn't matter even if they put them in there. I am 90% against this because a movie like that doesn't need this sort of treatment. Not because I don't want to see more Lost Boys, but because it's going to the CW. And as much as I enjoy some of their shows, the CW have a very strict demographic who they're aiming for. And you're not going to get the Lost Boys movie that we all love and remember. You are going to get a teen romance, high school series.
I think you're probably
akin
right.
to the OC with vampires.
Yeah. I think they'll probably set this again in somewhere like Santa Carla, where it was before, with teens.
And I know what you're going to say, Jeremy. That's what the film was.
No, I bet you don't know. What is the CW you talking about? I don't know what it is.
The CW is a network in America, but they're all the ones that I think they did Pretty Little Liars and
The Flash is on there.
The Flash, Arrow,
Supergirl.
What was it Vampire Diaries? That was CW as
Tomorrow.
well. So this is what I'm saying, that there's a demographic there you can see straight off from all of those series that this isn't going to be the dark, gritty horror that we loved growing up. This is
Didn't
going
they
to be
do the opposite with Teen Wolf? Teen Wolf was a comedy and they made a horror out of it.
And I believe, I'm going to check this, I believe Teen Wolf is CW. But still, it's high school, teenage, young adult centric. And it's just one of those where I just don't call it Lost Boys just to sell bums on seats and new subscriptions or whatever it is that they make out of this. Just call it something else. It's just make a series about vampires living in a nice seaside Californian town like that. Doesn't have to be called Lost Boys. If there's going to be no reference to all the other characters.
Yeah. What they could
Did you watch any of the sequels of them?
No, there was any, was there?
Yeah, we'll try pretend there isn't.
2 is nothing, but 3's got Corey Haim, isn't it? And Corey Feldman, I believe. They're in number 3, yeah.
I don't remember.
That's recent. It's at least within the last 15 years, isn't it? Number 3.
I think making a second one.
Yeah, they didn't, mate. It's one of those where they made a film, and someone else. This is exactly what happened with the TV series. It just
nobody watched it.
Yeah, it's just fine. It'll probably do well, and that's the annoying thing because everything that comes out in the CW does great. But I just don't see why Lost Boys needs a TV series. Go and slap another name on it, and I'll probably enjoy it. But now it's jaded for me because they're going to call it the Lost Boys, and straight away I'm going in with expectations that will not be met.
Yeah, I think
I agree.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, right. I thought I was going to be met with animosity towards those thoughts.
No, I think it's a stupid idea and a waste of time, and the Lost Boys shouldn't have had sequels, let alone a TV show. Lost Boys should be just left on its own, on a little pedestal of loveliness, and go, that is a one-off, it's a classic, don't touch it.
Yeah, thank you. I'm trying to set Adam up here for a segue, but reboots, man. I mean, bringing up an old property from the 80s that we all know and love, right, and redoing it for now. I just don't think it should be touched. I mean, what else are they doing it with?
Well, yes. So, can you name the actor, either of you, or the actress rather, that has been very outspoken about Ghostbusters?
Yeah, he did. Right.
Of course.
No.
So, I can't name them either.
Leslie Jones or something like that.
Yes, I thought Jeremy would remember her. So she has been rather outspoken and saying that she doesn't think this is a particularly good idea, blah, 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 blah. But this is going to hopefully feature those original actors from the original Ghostbusters 1 and 2. And if this all happens and comes together, we should be seeing this in 2020. And we have seen a little glimpse, haven't we, of the Ecto in a barn, and I think that really got people's pulses racing. And certainly, I was getting quite excited to think, well, what's in this barn?
Did you cry?
And I didn't cry, but no. But there was an element of excitement, thinking, well, this should be rather good.
You did a little white cry, didn't they?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So you guys watched it. What do you think of that little spot?
I'm not really bothered either way about it. I enjoyed the first Ghostbusters. I think it's a thing of its time. I really enjoyed the reboot, and Ghostbusters 2 was awful. I can't say that it's doing anything for me yet. When I see more about it, then maybe. But I think that with Harold Ramis being dead, he was part of a team, and it's like losing a wheel of a car. It's all of them together is what made that film work, and I think with one of them missing, you're really going to notice a difference. And I think
Well,
you're trying to get a chemistry back that's not there.
A Reliant Robin can drive with 3 wheels, so it's a possibility thing. That they could.
But then
you
it's
could
only
get
Fools and Horses.
well. That's segues to a little later.
Time code that. I think maybe people heard that. I don't know.
Andy,
talking of
Andy, are you excited about Ghostbusters forthcoming in the future?
Well, I'm going to be a complete hypocrite about what I just said about reboots. That was the point. Yeah, I'm on the fence. I'm more excited about this because it hopefully is going to have those 3 in it, and that's where my problem lies. The Lost Boys can't be remade or rebooted with the original cast for a simple fact. First of all, they're vampires, so they shouldn't age. And Keith Sutherland doesn't look like that anymore. Neither does Alex Winter for that matter. But with Ghostbusters, I was thoroughly disappointed with the reboot. I just didn't enjoy it. It didn't grip me. I like most of those actresses in there. Melissa McCarthy and Kirsten Wiig or whatever her name is. I love them in everything I've seen them in. I think they're really funny ladies. Just didn't like the movie. I wasn't averse to it. I just whatever. Whereas this, to me, holds more hope that it will be the 3 of the remaining original cast, and I'm cool with that.
Do you think they'll call it Ghostbusters 3?
Yes, they will. That I think will be the clincher, because that will cement in place for everyone that this isn't after the last Ghostbusters. The only way they can do it, because us nerds who sit here in a room like this talking, we're in the know because it's what we do. We talk about and what we hyperbolize and spitball and chat about. And those people, the general public, won't know that. So they'll just go in assuming. You had it with Rogue One, didn't you? People going, oh, is this a sequel to where's Finn? Where's Rey? Because they just didn't know what Rogue One was. And that's what we'll have with this, unless they call it Ghostbusters 3. And then everyone will know that it's a sequel. To Ghostbusters 2 from, 80 or 91, was it? 92? When did it come out? Can't remember. I like Ghostbusters 2. I know you don't, Jeremy. I do enjoy it, but then I was a lot younger, so I grew up with that, and I think probably there's reasons for me enjoying that more than you nostalgically. The barn, the shot of the car and everything, that was the way to do it if they were going to do this. I think, because it gets us lot here talking about it, it gets people talking about it, and it gets social networks on fire with this stuff, and that will spread the word more about what this is than just another Ghostbusters film, because that was done in a way that made people ask questions and probe, what the hell is this about that I've just seen? If they'd have just slapped up Ghostbusters 2 or Ghostbusters 3 on the screen, people would have just assumed it was a sequel to the old film, to the recent film, sorry. And I'm on the fence with it because it can go one of 2 ways quite easily, this. And reboots generally tend to go one way more than the other. So that's my only trepidation. I know what you're saying about Harold Ramis. It will be a shame, but I don't think that doesn't stop them somehow bringing him in using the facial tech they've used in recent films as a ghost. Even because the original idea, the original idea for the sequel for number 3 was Bill Murray said that he would only have been in it, but as a ghost. He said that himself at one point, that he didn't want to do the movie; he would do it as a ghost. and they would go to him or see him for something, and that would have been about it. So that I don't see there was any reason why they couldn't even have Harold Ramis's character as a ghost, literally just walking around in the background, maybe in the firehouse or something, and that's it. That's what you see, and then one of them just throws, says hello to him, and that's all you see of him through the movie. But that would be a way of introducing him into it and explaining where he is. And the other original story beat was to have Oscar grown up and working with him as well. So we'll see where this goes, but I'm all in for it, especially if you've got the original cast back in. That's my only caveat of being excited for this.
I think if they make Ghostbusters 3, I think both universes can work very well together. And maybe that if 3 works, goes down really well, they might make another Ghostbusters film starring the female cast, and it will be better than the first one.
Well,
the original... they'll be saying, do you know what? That sequel was better than the first one.
Yeah, well, retroactively make it better as well if they do that. But the original as well, one of the plans was to have this, like, I believe it was like a Ghostbusters in different cities, like we had obviously with that Ghostbusters, and they were going to cross over and merge, kind of akin to the Men in Black International. What's going on there with that, which is a great way of doing that, because let's be honest, that would happen, wouldn't it? They wouldn't just have one in America. Yes, of course it would, yeah. And, with Ghostbusters, obviously, everyone knew it was a real thing and that what they did was real because they saved New York, and it's world-known phenomenon, the thing that happened, and obviously you're talking 20 or 30 years down the line. What's to say that other people hadn't jumped on this bandwagon and had these units all over the world that were
fighting ghosts? There's a Ghostbusters in London.
Exactly,
there's a Ghostbusters
and
in
it becomes a franchise thing or an actual government unit. And so that was kind of one of the original spitball plans for this, and that'd be cool as well, because like you say, that would work with the new one as well. They could reference them, and those girls over in so and so. I mean, it was New York anyway, wasn't it? It was the unfortunate thing. Is the only issue there. But what's to say Ghostbusters 3 isn't set in New York and it's set somewhere else? Would you want to live in New York after dealing with those 2 events that happened?
I don't think if you was living in movie world, anyone would want to live in New York after what happens with the Avengers and Suicide Squad and God knows what else.
Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes. Well, another reboot has been announced from the wonderful Kevin Smith that he's going to be returning to Jay and Silent Bob. And
they got the green light today, didn't they?
Indeed. I think that's rather good news for lovers of his films. And so, yeah, guys, of his movies, what have you seen and what have you enjoyed? What stood out? And are you a fan of the Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back movies?
Okay, I thought Dogma, that was all right. Didn't he do one of the Die Hard movies in Russia?
He did.
Day to Die Hard or something like that.
I think you're more referencing his actual, more Rats-esque era of movies, aren't you, rather than Die Hard. I love them, mate. I grew up on them. That was my era. That was when I was, 17, 18, and I was doing things and friends and stuff, and we'd hang around and watch those movies, and that was our, Clerks was our bag. We watched that religiously. I mean, to be honest, I don't actually like Clerks. It's the one Kevin Smith film I don't like. But Mallrats, Chasing Amy, all of those. Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back.
Yes,
it's stupid good fun, and that's I love it. I mean, you got a nice little cameo of Will Ferrell in that movie, isn't it? What's the name? The girl from American Pie in there. It's fun film.
Oh, he's had a huge
Mark Hamill as well.
Great actors. I mean, Stan Lee's been in them as well. I mean, the great thing is that it's a nerd making a nerd film, isn't it? Really, essentially.
Yeah. And Jason Lee,
of course,
the original Ryan Reynolds.
Yes. Anything to add, Jeremy? You were just talking about something earlier. You were going to mention something tonight. Yeah, to do with Star Wars.
No, I'm going to moan about remake. They're remaking a lot of horror films at the moment, and one of them is Child's Play.
Yeah.
And Child's Play, the doll's not called Chucky, so what's the point? And it's not about having a serial killer possessing it. It's AI gone wrong. And I just kind of think, well, don't call it child's play.
This is what I'm saying about Lost Boys, mate.
Yeah.
It's exactly that. Call it something else.
That's what made me think about it. It just made me think, well, why bother? I mean, horror remakes, some remakes of most films tend to be a bit hit and miss. They're remaking The Fly. Well, The Fly was a remake anyway.
Yeah.
And
there's one remake I really love, and that was Friday the 13th.
I enjoyed the remake of that.
Yeah, I like the mythology and the history of Freddy Krueger, and you actually saw what the town did to him, and you got.
Voorhees.
Sorry.
Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th.
Not Friday the 13th. I think Nightmare on Elm Street. Sorry, mate.
All right.
With what's his name in it? From
Jackie L.
Haley, yeah, from Watchmen, and I love that because it goes the sort of the history of Freddy Krueger, what the town did to him and stuff. And I thought that was great.
I didn't mind that either.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And obviously, I mean, it was very dark. You saw the cupboard where he took the kids in the school and stuff, and you didn't get that from the original, did you? It's just this mythological creature, a person that everyone spoke about or didn't speak about in the town, for that matter. And that was a good remake for me. But I know what you mean. Most of them are.
Yeah, just don't touch The Fly. Leave it. Just
doesn't. Yeah,
I think that's done. I think that's done, isn't it? That's really well and truly done.
I think
from a black and white original to a 1980s movie with Jeff Goldblum. There was a Fly 2, wasn't there?
Yeah,
it's done.
Terrible.
Part of the problem though with that as well is that, like you've said about Chucky, they try and adapt it for more contemporary viewers. More contemporary view of the story as well. You're looking at Chucky, they go, I'll throw some AI in this doll because it modernises it. And what they'll do with the Fly, I mean, as a concept, we know it's silly now. It's not so. It's more far-fetched and ridiculous than it was back when it was originally made. And to do that now, you know that it's not just going to be this nice steampunk-looking unit in the middle of the room that he's built himself. It's going to be some lab that's all bells and whistles. And it doesn't work. That's where these things lose the grittiness. This was about a guy on his own, doing his own experiments and going overboard and taking it. And this is
Andy with Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
If it's not got Jeff Goldblum in it, just don't bother.
I'll get him back for it.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, so the other thing I was going to talk about earlier is the Empire Strikes. I think about Star Wars a lot because I'm a nerd, and I replay things in my head. And I was thinking.
So they say about men, isn't it, that we think of sex every 7 minutes as nerds. We think Star Wars every 2 minutes.
Star Wars and horror movies.
Yeah.
The bit. If anyone knows, it'll be you two. The bit where Han and Leia walk into the trap on.
Bespin.
Yeah. And tries to shoot Darth Vader and he pings the blast off with his hand and he touches stuff. He says, "Oh, come and join us for dinner." How does Darth Vader eat in that scene?
Well, he wouldn't be eating.
Awkward.
It's not. It's not. There's no food to be eaten there. He's going to be taken straight away.
Smoothie and got him a straw.
That's it. Do they just tip it in his mouth?
They
would fit it through one of those little vents at the front bit. You can just fit a straw just through it, and it.
It's a pleasantry. That's all it is. It's just a pleasantry. Stormtroopers would have entered that room.
Murders them.
They would have taken Han down to get him injected.
I thought he was going to be honoured if they'd join us. I mean, he's a man of his word, isn't he?
We would have seen Jeremy Bullock's face as well. Boba would have had to take his helmet off.
Well, maybe it
wouldn't look so scary underneath there, would he? But no, it's just a pleasantry, isn't it? That's all it is. So don't worry yourself about that one.
No, I'm on Jeremy's side here. I'm gonna look into this.
Well, maybe
I don't think I can watch Star Wars anymore, to be honest with you.
Maybe shivered old Anakin is sucking his soup through a straw through the grate. Who knows?
Glad you said that then. I didn't want to do more editing. I've already sworn once this episode.
Shall we play a game?
Right, Jigsaw.
Yeah. Right,
let's play a game called Room 101, shall we?
Let's do that.
Yeah. So let's just give the listeners just a little idea what Room 101 is, as featured in
Next door to room
the
100.
by it's not as featured in the fantastic book by George Orwell, 1984. Room 101 was a torture room where your worst fears would be put in there. Now, in the TV show in the UK, we have a program called Room 101 where celebrity guests put things in a room that they no longer want in their lives or don't feel the need to have in their lives, or they just cannot bear them anymore. And they're just like, that needs to go somewhere where it's not seen or heard of ever again. So this week, it's my turn. I'm going to list 10 things. Jeremy and Andy are going to judge, and they are going to decide whether it goes in that room or not.
I will be judging, mate.
Things,
Not like I'm to be judgy.
I've got to try and get 7 of them in the room. And so wish me luck. And I'll start with my first one. And I think my first one, I might get a winner here. So it's always going to be 2-1 because obviously I'm choosing what it is. One of you guys, if you agree, or both of you, it goes in the room. Okay. So my first one is a British TV show that not only can I not stand the theme tune, I've never liked the car that they drive in it. I don't like the kind of generalistic character. Oh, by the way, to comment, I just have to judge. This TV show is called Only Fools and Horses, and I've never liked it. I never got rid of the humour, to be honest. I thought it was a bit generalistic of Londoners, and I would like Only Fools and Horses to go into Room 101 and not to be seen again. I don't think it's necessary, really. It's dated, and yeah, I'm done with that. So, guys, Only Fools and Horses, please allow it to go into Room 101.
What's the time code on this? 1 hour, 9:30.
Cut this right out.
So, guys, what do you reckon?
I think that Andy should go first.
I've just gone first. I'm leaving that in, but I'm going to read it with a beep.
So, Jeremy,
why do you think it shouldn't go into Room 101?
It's a national institution. It's one of the greatest TV shows made in this country. It's hilarious. It's sentimental. It's got some beautiful characters, some beautiful storytelling. It is by far one of the best things. And I'm sorry that you're far too upper middle class to enjoy it, and us dreggings down here in the slums of Kent have to deal with like lifestyles like that and see it daily. But it is a phenomenal TV series, and I can guarantee you there's more of us that enjoy it than don't. And if you say otherwise, you're not British.
So, Jeremy, do you agree with me that it goes in Room 101?
Right, I'm going to be controversial, and surprisingly, I'm not a fan of Only Fools and Horses. I don't necessarily get the humour. However, I understand that it is a national treasure, and everyone else loves it. I think it's probably just me and you I've ever met who don't like it.
No, I do know somebody else, and she's a member of our Facebook group, and she likes Retro Inc. She doesn't like it either.
Okay, but it's one of them things that brings joy to many people.
I told some people about how you two feel about this, and I'm not going to repeat because I don't want to do more editing what he actually said. But it ended in idiots and started with an F.
Right. Okay. So forget it is what they said. Did they? They said
what room? Only Fools and Horses in Room 101 because it's produced David Jason, and I like David Jason, and I like Nicholas Lyndhurst. I think he's quite fun. And Buster Merrifield sports an exceptionally good beard, which I'm emulating these days.
Right. Okay. So
you are looking pretty Buster, to be honest, right now.
Yeah, I know. So I'm thinking, much as I don't like it, I can't put that in Room 101.
Okay,
so,
right.
Sorry about that.
Jeremy, I equally love you and hate you right now, so thank you. Douche.
Okay, my second choice going in here. If that didn't work, then I don't think this one is either. My second one comes from overindulgence, and I would like to go into rumor one, specifically sherbet sweets, sherbet dab, and licorice, because that goes with the sherbet dab. It's disgusting. It doesn't taste great at all, and if you overeat or overindulge in it, it just makes you want to be sick. And I just think sherbet is just pointless. Sherbet dab, you're going to probably say is a British institution made by Bassett's, but to me, it's just a stick of horrible black licorice that you dip in. It's just horrible. It's full of E numbers and sickly, horrible stuff. And I would like sherbet sweets, specifically sherbet sweets, to go into room 101.
So, do you mean lemon sherbets as well?
Lemon sherbet, anything with sherbet in it, yeah.
I'm going to go over the ride and buy some orange sherbet.
I like sherbet. I
Oh,
must admit.
right,
My little girl, she absolutely loves it.
yeah.
So I'm not going to deprive my children of their love of sherbet. In fact, they got sherbet straws in their stockings
Oh,
for
I
Christmas.
don't want to hear about
From
it.
Father
I don't want
Christmas.
to hear about it.
And they would just
disgusting.
empty them into a bowl.
Oh no, please.
Pile of sherbet and then stick in their tongue and they loved it.
No. Oh God.
I get that people may not like licorice so much, but sherbet's lovely.
Yeah.
So I can't
Right.
have that.
Okay. Andy, you're going to agree with him, aren't you, on that one? Andy's going to go and get some sherbet, isn't he?
Andy was
Yes.
lovely enough to give us sherbet for Christmas, which
There you
I
go.
thoroughly enjoyed.
I didn't.
Yeah. Now I know he didn't like that gift, eh?
Yeah.
I'm going to get a whole box of it in the post now.
There is one reason why I'm going to say no to you, Adam, and that's because I can't deny Jeremy's children of sherbet, neither my own. And there is actually a little reason. I really like licorice.
Oh.
Right? However, if it wasn't for Jeremy's children, I would have said yes. For the simple fact that I understand that my eating habits are very weird. I could live on a strictly paleo diet because I like grains and nuts and things like that. So I'm quite happy to let stuff like that go. However, I have to say no because of Jeremy's children, but I don't like sherbet either.
Okay, now I've got to try and get that's 2 down. I've got to try and get.
And also because you brought up Only Fools and Horses.
Well,
So I'm just going to say no to you to everything now.
I did make these two to start with. I thought if I can make these two, the worst ones, then I think from here I've got more hope. Okay, number 3. Okay, I want you to listen carefully here. This is very important, this one. Angry Birds. Not the game on mobile, but specifically Star Wars Angry Birds. They took our best beloved characters, they turned them into pigs, ugly deformed stuff, created board games, anything else that had, they could make Hasbro with the Star Wars logo on them. And the day that fad awful thing phased away was a day of pure joy. There is no possible positive argument for Star Wars Angry Birds. It served absolutely no purpose whatsoever. The original mobile game was rather fun, and when it came out linked with our best franchise and the best franchise of all time, I detested it immensely. I think it thoroughly deserves to go in room 101 without hesitation. Star Wars, specifically Angry Birds. They made Leia look like a pig with buns, and the look was dreadful. Chewie was what did they do? They literally got our beloved characters, the best ones as well. Didn't even deface Jar Jar. They just went for Han, Chewie, Luke, Leia, Yoda, and just made them look awful. And I would like Star Wars Angry Birds to go in room 1. Please.
Who wants to go first here?
You go first.
Well, for Star Wars Angry Birds, I'm pretty sure there is a Jar Jar because you flick out his tongue. I've played that a lot. I really like it.
Oh, good God, man.
And I can tell you that every single Angry Bird Star Wars plush that you can get is currently sitting on Freddy's bed and he cuddles up with them every night. We throw them at each other and play Angry Birds with
See,
each other.
he brings his kids into it. That ain't fair because they're just sympathy.
No, because I have 2 Star Wars Angry Bird plushes. I have the Leia and I have the Chewie, right? And
No.
to be honest with you, mate, I don't see the argument here. I mean, it's just using our beloved franchise and Rovio making more Star Wars games than EA, who have the license to Star Wars games. So, I mean, if you're going to be angry at anyone, throw EA into Room 101 because it really ain't going to change the world much, is it? But no, I'm sorry, I have to say no to you.
It's a free Star Wars game.
So basically, mate, you've got to get these next 7 in, otherwise you're done for. Yeah. It's a free Star Wars game.
Right. Okay. I've got to really.
If you said Angry Birds movie, I would have said yes.
I've got to stand in front of like a court now and really push my cases here, haven't I? Okay, number 4. Saturday night TV is supposed to be entertaining. Why on earth are there A&E TV shows on a Saturday night? I mean, who wants to see what goes on in a hospital at prime time on a Saturday night? There should be
cut you short here. Yes.
Good stuff. That is just not necessary. It's Saturday night. You should want, you know, if you're going to stay in, let's have fun. Put the TV on. Come on. What's on? Oh, not an A&E. Not a hospital. I don't want to see people falling off ladders and, you know.
Yeah, but
someone sets fire to themselves with a pot of hot.
That's what you've been trained in.
Yeah.
You've been trained in the fun part.
But that's different. You don't need an A&E TV show on a Saturday night. I mean, come on, guys.
Right.
Wouldn't you rather see a decent movie like, I don't know, Back to the Future or Raiders of the Lost Ark
I'd rather
at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night, not an A&E program? Come on.
I wouldn't want to see film. I want to see classic Saturday night programming.
Yeah.
Like Noel's House Party.
Yeah.
I want to see things like that where we sit down as a family and watch. There's one thing things like
instead of an A&E situation drama, wouldn't you want to see, you know, a game show with, I don't know.
But there is things like that, no, man. That's the thing. I'm going to say yes to you because I don't watch Saturday night TV because it's not my bag. But we have things like X Factor and stuff that is Saturday night viewing for the general family. I know it's not our thing, but there are people out there that enjoy that as Saturday night viewing now, and that is the modern equivalent of what we watch.
I like that. You know what? That dancing. There's a new dance show. There's a new dance show that's on ITV. I think it is, or maybe it's on BBC One. I don't know, but that's better than an A&E show, isn't it?
The Ashley Banjo one where he teaches 2 people separately.
I don't know.
That's the greatest dancer he's thinking of.
Possibly.
You're thinking of flirty dancing. I
just think that A&E TV shows should not be on TV on a Saturday night, and I think A&E shows should go specifically on a Saturday night in Room 101.
Right.
That's a very niche 101. A&E programs between the hours 5 and 10 on a Saturday night. However, I will allow them once every 4 months.
On a Tuesday morning. I personally can't stand anything like that at all because I am squeamish about hospitals.
So there we go.
I can watch people being torn apart by zombies and tortured in hospital and all of that, you know, and cabin fever and goo and brain dead and stuff like that. If someone's on an operating theatre, that just freaks me out and I can't watch it. So I'm happy to put that in all of them in Room 101.
So
whatever
time
of day they're on.
So that's an agreement.
I don't care.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, there you go. You got one. Well done.
Thank
Probably
you. Right.
But...
Okay, now this is my next one, and I want you to listen very carefully to this music because this again is the next kind of thing that I'd like to go in Room 101.
Have you been editing your home videos again?
Now, that god-awful music is what you'd hear if you went to Blackpool.
Yeah, but you live by the seaside, so no wonder you're annoyed. If I woke up every day to diddly dee diddly dee diddly dee diddly whoop 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 whoop, I'd be annoyed. You know, like that would wind me up. But I hear that music, and you know what that reminds me of? Because
It takes you to your happy place.
I'm patriotic. Yeah, when it does, it kind of the pictures start
So
and the
saying,
seizures.
specifically British organ music heard at the seaside, Blackpool, places like that. I was going to put in brass bands, but actually I kind of like a bit of brass now and again. But I think kind of British organ has got to go in there. I don't think it's needed. There's always some guy sitting on a big fat organ, turning looking at the audience. I know this game. Please stop.
That's because you live where you live.
It's got to go in there, hasn't it?
I think you've broken Andy again. No.
No.
I'm saying no. I have no problem with that. It reminds me of when I was a kid.
Oh no.
Getting a train or driving on to Margate, Ben Bon Brothers, hearing all that.
Nobody needs that in their life. Please, come on. People don't need that music.
Well, you're 1-1, so it's all down to Andy now.
Nope.
Oh, you're joking.
Sorry. I like men sitting on big organs.
Well, it doesn't look like I'm going to get the 7 in, does it? But I'm going to carry on. Right, I'm going to carry on it.
Oh yeah, we can see who wins this.
It's, okay. Are you ready for my next one?
Yep.
It's this.
No.
That's enough. That's simply enough. I think you know what that is. The Birdie song from
With a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and shake your.
That's a
I love it.
song. What are you on about?
The Birdie song is one of the greatest memories of my life. I went to see Green Day, not Green Day, Offspring.
Why this goes in, right? Because I've got a statement case here.
With it.
Right, any and every disco, whether it was at school or years after or a wedding reception, this awful music was playing, and it was a huge hit across Europe and probably in the States as well. And it just drove me mad and most of my friends. And I think it should never be played ever, ever, ever again. It's just god awful, and we don't need it. And I think the Birdie song by the Tweets should be snapped in half, broken, deleted, and destroyed, and never heard of again.
Have you ever heard the Prince cover?
There is none.
I would say no, because it's one of the few songs I should have to dance to. And despite the fact I look like Frankenstein's monster having a fit, I don't mind getting up and having a boogie to this one. And it's fun. It's fun with kids at a wedding or that kind of thing.
It's not fair.
Why not? Yeah, I'm thinking of the greater good. I'm thinking of...
You get all these old people, they get up, right? It's the only chance they get to actually go, I know this one. They get up.
The last dance Nana ever had before she died, and you're going to take that away from her, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. One of the greatest memories of gigs and stuff I went to see Offspring at Wembley Arena, and they were generally fabulous as the Offspring were back then. And we went for the intermission. The lights came up slightly, and these sofas out of nowhere came onto the stage like halfway on, and the lights were down on it, but you could see the band was sitting there on the sofas having a beer, literally on the stage, in the background. And then this man who was akin to Jeremy's stature walks on the stage with this robe on, this silk dressing gown, very much a Del Boy thing. If you'd ever watched it, you know what I meant. And he walks on and he stands in the middle of the stage. He takes a bow. He undid this dressing gown, and there he was standing there in a pair of budgie smugglers. And I'm talking, this is a big guy, and these things were like string that he was wearing. And he proceeded they played the Birdie song, and he just walked left to right on the stage like a crab, with his hands, clapping his hands in the air for 5 minutes, walked back in the stage, did a bow, put his robe on and walked off. And that was the intermission. And that was one of the most fun moments of my life. So no, sorry, mate.
I just don't think you like Joy.
Yeah, Sherbet, the Birdie
Yeah.
song,
Oh, horrible.
great
Oh.
British comedy.
Oh.
No one's allowed to enjoy these things.
The next thing I want to put in room 101 is smiling.
Yeah. Kittens. Put some kittens in there.
Babies.
Unicorns.
Oh no, it's not. Oh God. So that song has got to carry on existing till the dawn of end of time, is it?
Yep.
And like Jeremy, you can dance to it. Anyone can dance to it, and it don't matter if you look like an idiot because the song's stupid enough to carry you. So yeah, and then I can dance. I'm solid gold. You should have seen me playing
Okay.
Just Dance earlier. Perfect.
I thought I was on a winner there.
No, man,
Okay,
sorry.
this is my next choice, and my next choice of horrible thing. Here we go.
You know, I'm the caring, sharing type. I mean, just the other night I caught myself thinking, wouldn't it be nice to share this delicious Terry's chocolate orange with some of my dearest chums? And then I thought, no, actually, no.
Terry's chocolate orange.
It's not Terry's, it's mine.
No, exactly. You do not mix chocolate with orange.
You do. The cakes that I had.
Hey,
I was
wait
either
a
annoyed
minute.
with the Terry's chocolate orange or Dawn French. Either one, I was going to give you a slap.
You're not supposed to interject till I've pleaded my case here.
There ain't no case to plead, mate.
Anything chocolate
I'm
with
dead
orange
inside. There's my
is
case.
just pukey. Seriously, anything chocolate with orange is just pukey. It is. Now, I can accept mint, right? But if you eat too much, especially
orange
if
and
it's dark
mint?
chocolate... Wait
That's good.
a minute, right? Hang on. If you eat too much, especially if it's dark chocolate, right, and orange, your head is going to hit the ceramic of your nearest lavatory in seconds, isn't it? It just shouldn't be mixed chocolate, which is already delicious, with orange, which we know is high in vitamin C. But again, if you eat too much orange, it's not good for you, is it? So don't mix orange with chocolate. Mint is only accepted because it just about is barely accepted, but orange is sickly and in my opinion should be stopped and put into room 101 forever. But I know I'm going to lose this one as well because you like that hideous ball of orange sickness, don't you? And Andy's disappeared because he's probably got a chocolate orange and he's going to come back, isn't he?
No,
I've got chocolate oranges upstairs that the children are eating, and I'm not even going to bring my children. I'm not going to bring my children. I'm not bringing my children into it. I will not allow them to go in room 101 because I really like them. I always, every year for Christmas, in my stocking,
have you
have
never
plain
felt sick
chocolate.
after eating too much chocolate orange? Come on.
Jeremy, every
No.
year for Christmas, my wife makes sure that I put a Terry's chocolate orange in her stocking. Same
It's
thing.
Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It is Christmas, mate.
In fact, Freddie this year, not only did he get a proper chocolate orange, he got a bag of the little chocolate orange segments.
Oh, they're
Chocolate
good.
and
They are
orange.
with the popping candy
Yeah.
and the dark ones, the milk ones. There's ones with little chewy pieces in it. Yeah, good there.
Yeah, so you don't like Jaffa cakes either then?
No, you don't mix chocolate with orange.
Well,
You do.
yes, you do.
I can't think of anything.
You don't mix Adam with
where
Joy
orange
either, do
is
you?
in chocolate.
Why? What's wrong with orange and chocolate? I've never heard of anyone not liking that.
Look,
No.
I
for
bet
years.
you've got one random friend. You go, oh, I've got a friend.
I've got to be honest.
My
I've got to be
friend.
honest with you, Adam. If I go and tell Stacey this right now, she'll come on this podcast and she will tear you a new one.
Okay, right. Also,
She's
one of
a
the other
feisty
things at
lady.
Christmas you used to get is matchmakers. Those lovely little twiglet things, weren't they? Minty, right?
And
Well, they do orange ones and them nice. They're well nice.
The orange ones are my favourite.
I bet
You tried the sort of caramel.
the amount of people
they're
I
new.
reckon go. I was fine when I was eating the mint ones, but since I've been eating those chocolate matchmakers, I feel totally sick. I bet.
No.
Old people's homes are full of old people that have been eating those, feeling sick after Christmas. And it wasn't, I had a bad
Maybe
time.
go visit one and I might teach you how to smile.
You're really coming across as a grumpy old one, you know?
Yeah, I was the moody one on the retro 1980, whatever it was. But
Okay, So, right. The next one, this reserve really, this is specifically again for people who have asked me over the last 40 years, where do I get my protein from being vegetarian? I mean, I never ask anyone where they get their riboflavin from, do I?
Well, I know
I
where
never
you
ask
live, so.
anybody, but I know. Okay, here we are. This is that's not one to go in room 101. I think I've lost this. So, okay, my next one, right.
No, come on, carry on with that. What was you going to say?
Well, that's it, really. I just think people get on my wick. When you're vegetarian or you're vegan, you get asked all the time, where'd you get your protein from?
You know, I'm on your side of this one, yeah. I was vegetarian for 6 years, mate, so I know how annoying it is. But at the same token, we're not going to go down this rabbit hole because it's kind of a bit too.
Well, it is a bit, yeah.
There's going to be arguments coming out of this, and I don't want to upset people with views.
Well,
I think that should go in room 101 because whatever you eat is up to you.
Yeah, and that's the long and short of it.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Drivers of cars, specifically those that have cars before 1940, have squeaky horns attached to the side of the car. They dress up in old clothes, right? Somehow they're in connection with it when they do that. And they decide to get their old codger out on a Sunday, slowing down the road, causing miles of tailbacks, and seeing them on a return journey with their beloved car, right, on the back of a truck. Because it's broken down.
The last time I came down there was the procession of these old cars.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, how many did you see on driving home on the back of a trailer because they're broken down?
Well, they're old. What do you expect?
Oh, see, there's retro and then there's pointless.
Mate, the day your kids are driving you somewhere because you've broken down and they're putting you somewhere in a home or something.
Yeah, but they don't try. They won't be driving around in a car. You got to start with a wind up lever.
But
in front of the
you being the broken car.
But do not point at them and go, "Oh, look, it's chitty chitty bang bang."
Oh.
Don't you go, "Oh, look at that! That's beautiful! Like, look at that engineering, that fantastic looking machine."
I can say that all of the cars that you see on the road,
blocking
up the roads. Yeah, but all of those cars blocking up the road.
Do you drive a Nissan Note or a Berlingo or something?
No, I don't. No.
It's functional.
So can that go in the room, please?
No, it can't. My car's older than
yeah, but it's not an old crock, is it?
Oh, my car works. Well done, you. I used to sit at the garage from November.
This is my penultimate. All right, this is my penultimate, and it's.
No, you should definitely have one more after this.
No, there is one more. This is the last one because I've clearly lost, and I think this is my this is my Excalibur. This one. It's Croc shoes.
Yeah.
Why? What? They go with none of the clothing apart from the worst clothes that you actually possess in your house that you wear in the garden to dig a small hole. They'll still be around in a landfill site in 300 years. They've got holes in them. I mean, what purpose does it serve? And man, they're as ugly as you can get in the world of shoes. They're disgusting. If you own a pair, you should be ashamed of yourself, quite frankly. They deserve to go in room 101.
Sorry to our listener that's sitting there now looking at their feet with a tear welling up in their eye.
Eating a chocolate orange, watching Only Fools and Horses in the background.
Yeah, well, I'm not listening to them anymore.
Dipping the chocolate orange in sherbet.
Come on. Help me out here, guys. Let's get the
while on the phone going, I don't know where you get your protein from.
Yeah. Look at that man in the car. No, I totally agree. I think Crocs are an abomination.
Yep, same here.
Yes, 3 out of 3. Fantastic.
Okay,
I've got an extra here. I've got a spare. So let's just 2 in, right?
Flip it in.
Okay, and finally, fidget spinners. Another useless thing that appeared, last year before, and in
this podcast.
Or in 2219, they'll be digging them up, going, "What the hell are these? What the hell were they for?" I thought human beings.
They've not got the internet then.
Hang on, look, think about this, right? We started off trying to start fire with 2 bits of stick, and a million years later, we've got this thing that we're flicking around in our fingers, going,
Mate,
oh,
we've been flicking that around in our fingers for a lot longer.
For the
than
2 million years.
yeah.
I mean, these things were worse than dealy boppers, weren't they? I mean, fidget
Why do
spin.
they offend you?
They're just what? Really?
Like if you said
No,
something like Jedward to put in room 101, I'd get it. Nobody needs them in this
Oh,
world.
yeah, they can go. No, I mean, I
Thank you.
know people who kids.
Did they benefit from them? Really? Did they benefit from them?
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah, they do.
And they don't offend me in any way.
No. I'll tell you who is offending me tonight. His name rhymes with Madam.
He's being one tonight.
Yeah, really.
Oh, I thought there would be. I thought I'd make a nice, amusing list. Actually,
Losing
that's
you
what
there,
You
I
said you got a spare one. Come on.
I did make a list of some quite serious stuff for Room 101, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to abandon that and put down some quite retro-y but silly things in this list.
So
And,
basically, you want to throw in some things that we talk about.
Yeah.
Retro-y. Just get rid of everything so we've got nothing to talk about anymore.
I've
Well,
got sherbet for Christmas. Let's flag that off.
Yeah,
I didn't think that was offensive. You know, I could say Mamma Mia. I could have said a couple of films that I just don't understand, don't get, can't
Well,
bear.
tell us them. Go on, tell me them.
No,
Have on a roll.
no.
Come on.
No, because I know you like Mamma Mia, and I don't want to offend you.
Yeah, but I'm not. I don't get.
You've already
by it.
offended us, mate.
Yeah, I'm more offended about the chocolate orange.
Well, I think next week it's one of you two got to make your list, and I'm very much looking forward to that.
Oh, you're just being petty now.
Yeah,
Yeah, you took him to go. No, because I
because you didn't like mine.
I'm going to go, right, Jeremy, sherbet. He's going to go, no, keep it.
Yeah.
Especially the licorice.
Yeah.
Only Fools and Horses. Watched the whole lot last week, loved it.
Yeah.
Andy, I think you've got a 20 question for me and Jeremy, haven't you?
I can do if you want. Let me just open it. I've just got to open it up on my phone just so in case you ask me a question that I'm not.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that, listeners, and
hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
I know you two did. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know,
I had no idea you hated Joy that much.
Yeah, I know.
I do. But
I thought we
you know,
miserable curmudgeons.
I was trying to pick some things that actually, I even asked Jake. I said, "What things, Jake, don't I like?" You know, and I explained Room 101 to him, and he said, "Oh, I've read 1984. I know all about that." And he was talking about Winston and rats and God knows what. So yeah, and he came up with you hate chocolate orange, don't you? And you don't like lemon.
I'm going to have to try and think things I don't want to put in Room 101. That's going to be my problem.
You like a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of stuff you don't like. I know there is, Jeremy. I know.
Yeah,
There's got to be a tune like the Birdie song that once you get in your head, you just cannot get out. There's got to be something that you go, "Oh, I'm not eating that." There's got to be something. Do you know what? Quite frankly, I never want to see that film again, or TV show, or there's got to be something. Right, Andy. Over to you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Right. Well, it's 20 questions, isn't it? Cue the music. Do we have music for it? Maybe we do. Maybe we don't. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. Maybe we will. I don't know. Depends whether I can be bothered to edit it. Right now, I'm drawing a spaceship. I have a film.
Oh, that's one question we go ask.
Jeremy, do you want to ask the first question?
Hang on, give me a second, because he's just ruined. I've just ruined it because he was probing questions. He was being devious. That one. He was.
I wasn't being devious at all.
Right. Okay. I've got something else. Yeah, that's cool. All right.
Is it a TV show? Is it a TV show?
No.
Jeremy.
Is it a movie?
Yes.
You haven't changed it at all, have you?
Nah.
I know that.
Just lost the question though, and that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, we've gone from being one up to one down.
Is this a film from in the last 20 years?
Yeah. So I don't know why I stalled there. Sorry. Because I'm not very good at math, apparently.
I'm sitting there working out. That'll make it 19. Right. I'm trying to think it. Is it part of a franchise?
Yep. It's 4.
Right.
Okay, so it's part of a franchise. Yeah. Oh, this is okay. Is this a fantasy film?
No. Are you talking? You're saying fantasy? You're talking like sword, sandals, sorcery, dragons, wizards.
That sort of thing?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Because
Not
obviously most things are fantastical, aren't they, in cinema?
Yeah, I was
So,
kind of thinking
yeah.
fantasy kind of covers a lot, really, doesn't it?
Knocks out most of Adam's personal DVD collection.
So, yeah. Is it sci-fi?
No.
Ooh.
Is the main character of this film a spy or investigator?
Of the film?
Yes.
No.
So his role in this film, he's not a spy or an investigator or
You picked up on that, Jeremy, didn't you? No.
Right.
Of the film, he's not.
But it's not sci-fi. It could be a Sherlock Holmesy kind of thing, couldn't it? Or that could be it.
no, because he said no, it's not he's not an investigator of any kind.
But there could be that kind of thing in it.
Okay.
We're putting the implication there.
Right. Have you had a guess?
Is it a comedy?
No.
Oh, well, I can't imagine what it is then. It's a franchise that isn't a comedy.
Does this franchise involve cars?
What are they the main premise,
Yes.
or is there a car driving
Yes.
around in the movie?
Is there
No.
a lot of cars in this?
It's not Fast and Furious, mate.
Okay.
And I do want the actual film, not just Fast and Furious, if you know.
Right.
Hypothetically.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to have to name what installment it is.
Yes.
We do. Right.
You are on
So-
9 questions at the moment.
Is your go, Jeremy?
This is going to be like Mission Impossible or Jason Bourne or one of them kind of things. You know that, and I don't know any of them.
Well, I asked if he was an investigator or a spy of some kind, and he said no. Or is it? I don't know.
Did he actually
I'm not
say
going to
that?
lie. I said no. They are not a
said no.
spy.
Right.
They? Right.
Or they, the colloquial they, like the collective they, you know, they're just they, it.
Does this franchise star Johnny Depp?
No.
Right. Jeremy?
Right, let's get some franchises out of the way then, shall we? It's
You're on
not
10
sci-fi,
questions.
We need to ask how many films is in this.
but you're going to have to say yes or no. So then we're going to have to go, is it 9, is it 8, is it 7, till we get it
Well-
right, and then we'll use
Were they all
all
questions?
of the
'Cause
questions up. No, none of them were. That's a discussion.
Does this franchise have 3 or more films in it?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's not fantasy, and it's obviously not a Harry Potter either then.
And it's not Alien, and it's not Predator, and it's not Harry Potter, and it's not Lord of the Rings, and is it in the Marvel franchise, do you think? Jeremy?
Well, that is it a superhero movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
So-
this is going to be a bit of a problem. We got to figure
A lot of
out
films.
if it's going to be DC or Marvel first, don't we? Then we have to
Yeah.
figure.
Okay.
So
Does the superhero, does he have a weapon?
Yeah.
don't
No.
they all?
Yeah, they all do, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, but right. I'm saying that because Iron Man doesn't have a weapon so
Yes, he
much,
does.
does he?
Iron Man is a weapon.
Yeah, he has lasers on his
Yeah.
glove.
Okay.
Proton lasers.
Yeah, I mean all of the Avengers, other than the Hulk, have
Right.
weapons.
Okay.
So,
Um,
I think the Hulk's got a weapon, mate. He's a Hulk.
has this
well, actually,
specific?
in
Has this?
Ragnarok, I think Thor saw it.
Yeah. Okay. Has this superhero? Um, does he come from an alternative universe, or is he based?
I think he was going to say, does he come from
Is
a
he?
land down under?
Okay. Let me make this more specific. Is he an Earth character?
Yes. That's
He is.
14.
Is it a he? Is that what you're saying? It's a he.
15. Yes.
Right. So then we better slow down a bit because we're going to get run away of ourselves.
Okay.
So if there's it's a he with a
That was a
weapon.
wasted question. How many female superhero characters have 3 films?
Yep.
Or more?
Oh, well, there's 3 films in it, right?
No, you said 3 films or more. So was the question.
Okay.
But then does the MCU count? That's the question you got to ask yourself.
Well, that's it. We don't have DC or MCU, although I think we might do now.
Yeah.
Why? I might find you a red herring.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be Blade, it could be Watchmen, it could be anything, couldn't it?
There are
20
15 questions here.
There's
I will give you until 17 questions before I give you a clue.
Right, so
Does this character have a daytime job? Like Peter Parker?
Yeah,
an alter
superhero.
ego.
Oh, alter ego, you're just superhero in 24/7. He only does it during the night. No, it's yes, he does have a daytime job.
Because technically Doctor Strange is no longer a doctor, so we're ruling him out.
But he has to work at the Sanctorum, doesn't he?
That's not really a
It's a
daytime
job. If you had to stand there at that
okay.
gate all day long.
Jeremy,
yeah, but
go on.
his job is being a superhero by guarding that. So
I would say, right, yeah.
Yeah, Thor doesn't have a job, but I mean, he's pretty integral to what he does, you know.
It's not a daytime job. Peter Parker is
yeah, but we said alter ego. Is there, as in
Yes,
he's got a
I've
job,
said yes to that, yes.
and no one else knows who he is. You see,
no one else.
So
You're 16.
we get help in a minute. He's got a weapon, isn't he? So it's not Spider-Man either. We don't. He's got a weapon, possibly not Thor. It could be Thor Ragnarok. It could be any of these things, couldn't it? So Captain America's got a shield, but is that necessarily a weapon? It's not. A shield is a mode of defense, so that couldn't be right that way. Because if people have a shield, they have a sword as well for the attack and the shield.
Yeah, but let's be honest. If you're going into battle with someone and turns around and goes, let's go get this man a shield, I'm sticking with that geezer, because if all he needs is a shield in a fight, I'm with him.
Yeah, but if a load of people are charging at him with weapons, he might be thinking this man needs a shield.
A shield they give him in Wakanda is tiny. He ain't going to fend off nothing with that. That's to hurt people. That's not to save himself. That's to hurt people with. We're going off topic here. 16 questions.
Right.
Welcome to Retro Inc.
Oh,
Tangent.
goodness. It's a long. See, there's so many films in this franchise. It's going to be difficult.
What franchise?
We haven't even figured out what franchise.
Have we?
We haven't established whether it's Marvel or DC yet, or Dark Horse or anything.
Is this a Marvel franchise we're talking about? That's the question.
No.
It's not.
17.
Okay. So,
So it's going to be a Batman one.
or Wonder
No, is
Woman,
it?
or
Yeah, Wonder Woman's got a job, but he doesn't like Wonder Woman, so tell me that.
yeah, it could be,
Sorry.
has this character God, okay,
It's going to be something like
has this character
20
had
years.
3 films of their own character?
Yes. 18.
Okay.
Do you want a clue?
We'll have a
Well,
clue.
we'll need a clue because I
Where are
haven't,
we at? What
haven't
number?
got one.
You're 18.
18, right.
So you've got one more question, essentially, before you have to ask what it is.
Okay. The clue.
2 more, sorry. The clue, we have spoke about this film tonight, briefly. Oh, maybe we haven't. I can't... Did I think that? Hang on, look, maybe I thought it earlier.
Don't think we've talked about a DC.
No, I don't think we have.
Okay.
We
maybe I can't
mentioned
give you a clue
Suicide
then.
Squad.
Okay.
That's not.
Okay. Don't know how to put this then. I don't know how to give you a clue.
What does it rhyme with?
Okay, I'll give you a clue. I did kind of let it nearly slip earlier during this line of questioning. And I managed to cover myself.
I no idea of what you're talking about. Um,
You asked me a question a couple of questions ago, and I came out with a typical snarky answer. And
which
revealed-
was?
I can't say that again now, but I thought you picked up on it, Jeremy, to be honest.
Jeremy, can you remember what that was?
No. Well, only that they're not detectives.
That was part of it. I even mentioned something there when I was just like,
yeah.
in the movie.
Does this character fly?
Fly? No. 19.
But fly's a yes or no, isn't it? Like,
He says
does a penguin
no.
fly? No. Does an eagle fly?
No, it's
Yes.
not. No, okay then.
Yes.
No, he doesn't fly. And you'll understand in a minute when I tell you what I mean by that. Think about it.
But that would be with or without the aid of a suit. I mean, is he?
But what
So,
about if you had a suit that did certain things that didn't allow you to fly necessarily?
I'm going. I think we're going down the Batman route here, mate.
Jesus, do I have to knock at your door and shout Batman at you? Christ.
Yes, Batman.
Have we got to name which one it is?
Hence why he can't fly, Jeremy. But he can glide.
I'm going to have a guess now
That's
because
falling slowly.
it's a 1 in 6 chance of getting which one it is now.
Right. So knowing Andy, which one does he like? Let's think about it.
Yeah, I think it's the Dark Knight.
I don't think it is. I think it probably begins.
Do you think?
And it's not going to be that. It'll be that one with Bane in it. After all that.
Well, do you know what?
It'll be Dark Knight Rises.
About 10 questions ago, I did think it was the Dark Knight for some reason. So,
do you think it's the Dark Knight? No,
you can have
if you
a guess.
think it, I'll go with you because you wear glasses
He likes
more
Batman.
than I
He
do,
likes
so you're
Batman
probably cleverer
Begins.
than me.
No, I think he likes Batman Begins. Let's go. Is it Batman Begins, Andy?
No, it's the Dark Knight. Yes!
That's why I said we should go with you.
I hate Batman Begins, Adam. We did this on the superhero thing where I spoke about it.
I said that you know.
The Dark Knight. Sorry.
What weapon does Batman use?
Batarangs.
Lots of weapons.
He has his tumbler, which is a
He's
weapon.
got lots of weapons.
When I nearly let it slip was when you said, "Does he have a day job?" And I went, "No, he only works at night."
Oh,
right.
There we are.
Yeah, but
And when you said about is he a detective?
I'm sure the listeners are glad that we finally,
An
put you out
hour and a
with this.
half podcast and 45 minutes of it, you two trying to guess the Dark Knight.
Can we stick that in room 101? I'm being terrible at that.
No, that was good. That was good because all our listeners got to play along with that. Then, to be honest with you, they probably got to about the third question and was shouting it at their phones.
Probably were.
Well done, guys. Anyway, well done. It was a hardcore. I mean, the trouble was you was too late to the Batman to be able to work out what movie.
Well,
that
too
was
late
the trouble.
for the franchise, really. Once we got there,
I mean, yeah, if you'd have had 3 or 4 questions left, did it have Bane in it? No. Okay, well, it's not the right. Did it have Joker in it? Yeah. Well, it's either the 66 or the Dark Knight. So,
or Batman.
Yeah. Yeah. Or,
so,
yeah.
if you guys have got anything else to entertain our listeners with this week, have you got anything you'd like to say before we round this week's episode up?
You always sideline with this, and I'm trying to think. So you always sideline. It should be.
Jeremy likes his Bop It.
Sorry?
He likes to bop it to start. That's like my old car.
Oh, it's not one you have to wind up, is it? Because we'll put that in room 1.
Yeah, it's got a little horn on the side of it. When I drive it, I have to have a man walk in front of me waving a flag.
Do you dress up as well, like some kind of steampunk weirdo?
Yeah. You've probably seen me around Seaford.
Between Seaford and Brighton, you're always blocking the road there. It's lovely.
Yeah, somewhere.
I've seen you eating your chocolate orange drive while you're waiting for the AA to come pick you up.
Doing lines of orange sherbet.
Yeah.
Singing, stick some money in your pocket, get the suitcase from the van. Yeah. He's probably...
And the Birdie song.
Yeah. That's my special album I reserve for special evenings.
I do hope you enjoyed those. Actually, they were fun. I
enjoyed most of the things you wanted to throw in room
101. Yeah, they were fun. That's why they didn't go in room 101.
I'm a little bit shocked at some of your choices, to be honest.
It was supposed to be fun. There we go.
I don't watch Only Fools and Horses, but I would.
You would chuck it in.
No. Horses, would I?
Yeah, that's actually a very good point, Jeremy. He didn't think about me at all in that, did he?
I did. That's why I
Thank you. Yeah, when I do it, I'm going to turn around and go, right, Battle Beyond the Stars, Star Wars, everything he loves and holds dear, vintage toys, get rid of them. Get rid of them all.
Rancor, give it a that.
I don't. I like them.
Yeah, my favourites. I was really tough when I got one of them. I've been buying Freddie presents this week because his upcoming birthday, and his presents this year are all going to be nothing but Alien and Predator stuff.
Love it.
I had no idea you could get that much stuff.
Love it.
Great.
I saw a great little alien figure the other day, and it was real stylized, modern, weird figurine. It was like the alien it looked like a balloon animal almost. It was real bubbly, didn't really have much definition to it, and it was really cute. There was a little fire hydrant, I think it was, and a little park grassy thing, and he was walking a face hugger on a leash.
That is from the book The Alien Next Door.
All right.
I've bought him the book and that figure.
Wicked. That is a great little figure. I saw it and I loved it. I thought that's really cute.
Adam, do you remember when we were out at HMV the other week and Freddie saw the 8-bit blood splattered Funko?
Yes,
and
I do indeed.
I got him that.
Nice.
So,
there's currently now, I think...
won't be listening to this.
Yes.
There's too amount of swearing in this week's episode.
I'm sorry. Well, someone bought it out of me. Can't help it.
Well, there's quite a few of those Alien 8-bit Funko Pops available.
He's got the normal 8-bit one.
Yeah. A great place to get these is a website called popinabox.co.uk. You can get 2 for $18.99 on their website, and they do really good postage. And if you subscribe, you can also save 10% on some of those prices. But those 8-bit Alien pops are really cool, I think.
Yeah, they're really heavy as well.
They're very, very cool. If you ever look on their site too, Pop in a Box, they've got the Alien Sideshow collectible statue of the Alien Egg, which is 13 centimeters high. It's very, very cool. It's cast beautifully, and it's got a face hugger climbing out of it, and that's at $87.99 for that. You've got a lot of the Funko Pop Queen Pocket Pop keychains at $4.99, and of course they also do T-shirts as well on their website. But they're a great place to get all your Funko Pops and that kind of stuff. I did notice as well in HMV today, they've got in there 2 for £20 on their T-shirts. They've got both Alien and Aliens T-shirts, and they have some great horror ones too in there. So grab those while you can, while HMV is still a going concern, because today
Sports Direct having that.
Well, let's hope so. It's been talked about, and I'm
I've
following
always
that
wanted
story
to buy
very
an
closely.
extra large mug with HMV written on the side.
And a massive calculator.
Yeah,
Well, if anyone's going to take this over, I think it's certainly going to be this chap who owns this business, because I think he could do something great with it, and it'd be a great shame, a great loss to the high street, losing a place to actually go and get physical product like that. I noticed in HMV in Brighton, for example, there's a huge amount of comics now in there and great books, and 2 for £5 on their paperback novels. For example, they had the Blade Runner Philip K. Dick novel. I think that was in there 2 for £5, as well as George Orwell's 1984. There's some really good, really great books in there. They've got some good deals on their Blu-rays at 5 for £30. There's some really good titles. So it'd be a great shame also to lose a store that's currently stocking, a lot of great vinyl. And again, that as that's making a comeback, it'd be a shame to lose a place where, while this sort of new interest in vinyl is really taking
have
stock.
either of you invested in a vinyl thing?
Well, I've got a lot of vinyl. I don't have anything to play it on, but I'm collecting it for a later date. Prince, for example, there's 3 new albums being released next month that were never released on vinyl, all coming on purple vinyl. I'll be picking those up. Certainly, they won't be stocking those in HMV, but I do like them.
Is he all right?
No, he doesn't like chocolate orange. No, I mean,
No.
you can't trust a man who doesn't like chocolate orange.
No.
I don't think.
I don't think you can.
It's just odd.
His head's frozen. I
Well-
thought he's been trying to ignore us for the last hour, but I just realised that he's
He's looking
is
stuff
frozen.
up.
Yeah,
He's looking stuff
Yeah.
up. He's doing clever and important
I
stuff.
haven't done anything. I'm looking at you both, thinking and wondering why on earth I have friends like yourselves.
I'm just watching a video of a really old snapping turtle just coming up to say hello. How cute is that?
Oh, wonderful. So, guys, I think this has
I just
been
put
a
it
rather
where
good,
Adam's camera's supposed to
enjoyable.
be.
Oh, look at that! Yeah, nice.
Okay.
So I look forward to next week. To your 20 question, Jeremy. I know you should be picking something out, or maybe Andy does one again and we fail miserably. And
I mean,
certainly,
you need to do one for me and Andy now.
Yeah.
who's gonna go? Okay, well I'll do the 20 questions. Who's gonna go next week with your Room 101 out of you guys? Who's gonna take next week's challenge?
I'll do it. I don't mind.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
do it.
Jeremy,
Fine,
right.
Give me time. 'Cause you know what I'm like. I've got to start planning for like 2020 before I can do mine. So
So
Yeah,
pick
well,
10 from pop culture, fandom, nerdom, retro sweets, anything like that. Whack it in there in your Room 101, and we'll give it a go next week.
remember, Jeremy, laughing children, fun fairs, balloons,
kittens,
toys, anything like that. Yeah, that can go in because
baby animals. Cute baby animals.
Yeah.
All of them.
that's fine.
Cool.
Cool.
A lot of little Joey coming out of a kangaroo. Little baby in the pouch. Room 101. Horrible thing. No.
You've been listening to a Retro podcast with myself, Adam, and my co-hosts. And
Who are not associated in any way with his views or opinions on any popular culture.
Apart from Crocs.
Yeah, apart from Crocs, we allow that.
please check out the other podcasts on the great Star Wars Commonwealth Network. Those include the Nerd Room, where you can hear more of nerdy stuff. The Sandcrawler podcast, which is actually taking a break for a month whilst they do various bits and pieces. But if you're into vintage and retro Star Wars toys and collectibles, that's the place to go for that. Of course, there's Talk Star Wars and the other podcasts on the Star Wars Commonwealth Network. Andy, anything next week you're going to be watching potentially? You're going to be watching more plebs?
No, because I don't think I want to watch season 4 because one of the main characters isn't in it. I hate it when they do that. They just try and continue it without someone that's actually really funny and stuff like that. So I probably won't watch it. Might give it a try at some point. I'm going to try and watch Venom through means. I'm going to try and watch. There was something else that I saw I wanted to say. I can't remember what it was. But I have a week off with my daughter soon, and there's a few films she wants to watch with me that Mummy won't let her watch usually. So Daddy will be there, and we're going to watch them. So there's a couple of things like that we've got on the agenda. Plus, The Greatest Showman's on my list for that as well.
Oh, wonderful! Yeah.
Yeah, my wife won't watch it for reasons, but I do want to see it, and
it's a cracking film.
My daughter's already seen it, so she was trying to get me to watch it.
No, Jeremy's shaking his head. Not the
Don't like it, mate.
I've watched it. Again, Alana loved it, and I love watching her watch these things, but it just makes my eyes and ears bleed.
I like the music from it. I've been listening to it all day in the kitchen baking, but that says more about me than you.
Today with my son, we absolutely, I really love Venom. I think it's a cracking film, mate. So I hope you enjoy it.
I don't like the music. One of the lads at work was playing the outro music by Eminem, and it was really annoying me.
There's a lot of stuff rhyming in that.
He just says Venom, 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 don't he, for like 5 minutes. That's what it sounded like to me. I don't know if I'm getting old.
I keep forgetting. I've listened to podcasts for a long time now, and people talk about being taken out of a movie. They're watching a movie, and something will happen, and they'll take them out of a movie.
The ushers usually do that to me.
But I've never happened to me until I watched Aquaman. And there's a scene in Aquaman where I actually kind of shook my head in bewilderment and kind of went, what? And then I realised I was watching the film and thought, it actually took me out of it. I can't spoil it for everyone, but there's that.
Is that the one where Jason Momoa stands still, just holds up a box and says "Grecian for men," and then it goes back to the movie? Is that the bit?
No, I can't spoil it with that, but yeah, it's similar to that.
Okay.
I'm going to watch The Punisher season 2 this week.
Oh, fantastic!
That's just been renewed for season 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
And they greenlit as well Pikachu the Detective.
Yeah.
They've haven't even finished the first one out. They've already sort of greenlit that as well.
What's it called? Polar with
Polar, Mads Mikkelsen. Oh, that looks brilliant, doesn't it?
Yeah, that looks
based on the graphic novel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes,
I love
Mads.
Mikkelsen.
I'll watch him in anything. So. I liked him in that King Arthur movie. He was brilliant in that.
Keep an eye on him, mate, because there's a new game coming out called Death Stranding. We'll talk about that another time. But his little bromance he's got with Hideo Kojima going on at the moment is beautiful. But he's in that. Bromance. Yeah, we do. Some bros I like less some nights than others.
I hear Sex Education on Netflix is doing really well, getting a lot of good reviews. There's the Conversations with a Killer, the Ted Bundy tapes. IO is doing pretty well. Poe, of course.
Ted Bundy thing.
We're expecting, obviously, Star Trek Discovery next series to do some good stuff, hopefully. There's Fire as well. Is it Fear? The greatest party that ever happened?
That's Fire Festival documentary. Do you know about that, Jeremy?
Yeah.
That's
definitely worth checking out. As is another really good drama series called You, which I've heard some really good stuff about. I'd like to check that out.
I've watched You. I've watched it.
Yeah.
What was you doing?
It's really good, mate. It's a really good little. I say I watched it. Stace was watching it, and I started watching it about episode 4 or 5, something like that. It didn't take through context and exposition. I kind of got what was going on, but I first started watching it, and the guy in it, the main guy, he's a stalker basically, and I started watching it, and I said to her, "Why? He's a really nice guy." And she was like, "Yeah, he ain't." And then literally by the end of the episode, I was like, "Oh, he ain't." Is he like? But he comes really good acting and story and writing because when he's with this partner and that, he seems like a lovely fella, the sort of person you'd go out with. But yeah, he's not. Well worth a watch. I'll tell you something else that's well worth a watch.
Oh yes, go on.
Right. And if you've got Instagram, you've got to go and follow Alfie_the alpaca _in_ Adelaide. All right. Because it's the cutest thing you'll ever see, Jeremy. You'll love it. Look at him.
No, he'll stick it in room 101.
Look at that. Oh, yeah. Bless him. Little Alfie the alpaca.
That is beautiful.
He, mate, is my joy. Every day I just go on and I just watch little videos of this little Alfie the alpaca, look, just eating. Oh, look at that.
That's very cute.
Yeah, so go follow him. He needs it.
You can also, if you love,
oh,
if you love a bit of nature, obviously we got our friend of the show, Steve's channel.
Wild About Nature.
Jeremy, can you remember Wild About Nature? Do check out Wild About Nature on YouTube.
I'd like to say
Steve's fantastic channel.
Well behind everything Steve does. But if you see him, Jeremy, ask him why he hasn't replied to my Instagram message I sent to him. I think it's about 18 days ago now, 19 days.
He's probably not looked at it. He'll probably haven't figured out how to do it.
He's a bit of a technophobe.
This is somebody without a mobile
If you'd have,
as he hasn't got a mobile.
No.
If you'd have made your message out of recycled plastic, he probably would have answered that, wouldn't he? Or you'd written your message by planting flowers and them growing into the message. He might have answered that.
Doesn't he like whisper to a pigeon and then send it off into the ether, and then they deliver the message for him?
Only
That's
as
right.
long as you don't hurt the pigeon.
Well, of course not.
Yes. Okay, guys. Thanks very much for listening for this week's podcast. Thanks for joining us. It's been a really great show.
And, look at that. Sorry, you just said about watching Polar. Robcast, from Talk Style. Yeah, literally watching it now.
Wonderful.
We better get in there.
Synchronicity. Yeah, we better. So until next time, guys, thanks so much for listening to Retro Inc. We'll be seeing you.
Don't use my line.
That's a bit cheeky, isn't it?
It was, wasn't it? Be seeing you. It's not even how he says it. You go, be seeing you.
Bop It To Start.
Oh, look.
No, is there a smack it to end?
Hang on, I'm waiting for it to end.